goodness.
I'm trying to think, okay, how many coaches have I interviewed during that time from all over, and I don't know how many, but you're one of them.
You know what? Honored to be one of them. That's a prestigious list. A lot of good coaches.
And you know what about all that is every interview is new. It's different. It's fresh. It's it's in the moment. So I like that. I like that.
Yep. People ask, what do you think of the radio? And I used to say I don't like it. I don't. And then I say, well, Craig's leading the interview, so I love it. It's easy. Craig leads you to water. You do a great job, and we appreciate you for sure.
Well, thank you. I enjoy doing it. It's fun to talk about the kids, and that's why you're in it. You're helping kids learn and grow and become teammates and learn life lessons. And along the way, you might win a few basketball games.
Yeah, right. It's so much bigger, right? And as an educator first, teacher first, that's definitely the mindset that we get caught up in the X's and O's and the wins and the losses and the we call it the emotional roller coaster of a season. And the reality is when these kids look back, when I look back, when you look back at your high school experience, your athletic experience, it's really, the wins and losses are pretty minimal, but the memories you make with teammates, the life lessons learned about grit and toughness and determination and resiliency is so much greater. And I love seeing kids being willing to invest in something that eventually you're likely going to get your heart broken, right? I mean, at the end of this, one team wins the state championship and everybody else had heartbreak at the end, and you're investing in that. And I think that's just a super valuable lesson. Proud of our kids. It's fun every year to watch different kids step into those roles and sacrifice for the team and take on a role. And I think that's a super important life lesson and makes doing this pretty rewarding.
Well, it's always great to catch up with you and talk with the Otter coaches about their teams. I always wonder, as I was listening to the game the other night, when Brad Anderson was covering your game at Wilmer, and I just started thinking about life lessons and as you boo a 16-point lead.
What's the life lesson there, Craig? Give me some ideas.
I just wondered if you turned to your assistant coach and said, do we really need to teach this life lesson tonight, because you got to be resilient, you got to be able to overcome adversity in the midst of the battle. I can just hear it, but number one, it was great to go on the road and get a big lead.
Right. We jumped out, and I thought defensively impacted the game early. We started out in some pressure. We turned them over. We got easy looks, built some confidence. And then I really thought we got away from that. That was the first thing as I was jotting notes watching the film. Why did we go away from pressure? That was my first note because they hit a couple shots. We softened up, and then I thought they played freely offensively, and we pride ourselves in dictating the terms defensively. We're not going to give you what you want. You're going to have to go to plan B, C, D, right? But plan A is not going to be what you get. And I thought they got plan A an awful lot. And so for us, we're going to dictate terms, and we have to be a little more impactful defensively and more disruptive. Once they got comfortable, I thought we then settled into that. And that was even when we held the 15, 16-point lead in the second half, it felt like it was slipping away. Before the score showed it, it felt like we weren't doing the little things that it takes and staying in a stance defensively. I thought our communication was as poor as it's been all year. And so, you see, that's the joy of a 26-game season is that you're going to have ebbs and flows. You're going to have highs and lows. And I'd rather win and learn than lose and learn. But certainly we looked at film and the kids kind of looked at us like, really, that was happening? Yeah, it was. And Wilmer's record isn't good, but they're not a bad basketball team. Right. We said pregame, this team really shoots it. They maybe aren't the best defensive team in the conference. They may turn it over at a clip, but if you give them looks, they're going to make them. And I thought we certainly gave them looks, and they took advantage to go on a run. We aided that by not taking care of the basketball, and that's a really bad combination. Mm-hmm. So we were lucky to come out of there with a win. I don't think we were the better team a majority of the night. And so we get to move forward and fix that. We'll have an opportunity today to try to remedy some of those communication lapses and see what happens.
70-69 was the final score, and that game went to the wire, and the Otters were able to hold on and escape from Wilmer. That's always been a tough place to get a win anyway, hasn't it?
You know what? Some gyms have that effect on
Yeah.
you, where it's just kind of hard to muster the energy, which is why I was excited about how we started. That's kind of a lot of my experiences there. We seem to come out of there with wins most often, but the start, it's almost like, was it last year we started out down 10-12 in the first half against a not great Wilmer team, and we had to battle back to earn it. And you're excited when they do that, but yeah, it's an atmosphere that doesn't always give you great energy, and so I would say it was another one of those nights that was certainly the case.
You know, there are moments in games when, as a fan, you're sitting there thinking to yourself, oh man, we need a timeout, and the coach isn't taking a timeout, and you're going, come on, Matt, we need a timeout here. And then a few minutes later, they go, Matt, we need a timeout. It's something, you're so into the game. How do you balance the timeouts that you are allowed in a situation like that? How fast are you when you're on the road and you feel something slipping away to say, oh, we need a timeout?
I would say it depends on the year and the team. With a veteran team like we have, there's a lot of times I want to see us try to play through it. And in a long season, you hope it doesn't cost you a loss, but I think there's a lot of things you learn about your team and a lot of experiences that they have. A young team, I'm far quicker to use that to teach them and show them and tell them. And with this team, I would say I'm not real quick. I should have called one a possession earlier, right? But again, I have a lot of faith in our guys that they can fix this. They can right the ship. They're okay. And with a veteran team, you expect that. And so my coaching staff always teases me. I'm a hoarder of timeouts. I like them for end game situations. I think it's important. Those are the moments where I think I really being able to stop the game, put something on a board or a discussion on what we're going to do to get a stop, I think is really important. So I like to have them at the end. So I probably don't use as many early as a lot of other coaches. My coaching staff would tell you that I should use more of them. And sometimes I try to be better. Wilmer was one where I probably should have used one or two a little bit earlier to stop that run, but it happened pretty quick.
Yeah.
It was a 35, 40-second stretch of an 8-0 run. They hit a 3. We had back-to-back turnovers, and the turnovers happened at half court. So really it was 3 turnover, and in 30 seconds they went on a 7-8-0 run. And then you call the timeout and go, shoot, okay. But I really didn't anticipate that second timeout or that second turnover happening. And it happens.
Yeah. And when it starts to slip away sometimes, I mean, I don't care how many timeouts you take, sometimes you can't right the ship with a timeout,
Yeah, they're 16, 17-year-old kids. And sometimes you ride that a little bit, the emotions that come with being young. And as a coach, you're kind of on that train, and you can try to curb it, you can try to steer it, but at the end of the day, the kids get to go out and play and make plays, and it's fun to watch them go through those experiences.
And to their credit, they were able to, weather the storm and to get the win and come home with that 1-point victory and learn those lessons, hopefully, right?
Yep.
So, and you're on a nice run, 4 wins in a row, get a little momentum here, and still a lot of basketball left in the regular season, but a lot of important basketball because you're looking ahead at like every coach and team is at the section playoffs, and where are we going to line up in our seeding, and what's our first round opponent going to look like? Where do we want to be, judged by what we're going to have to go up against? There's a lot of big basketball ahead here. And your guys, the experience they have, it's going to be fun to see how they lock in, down the stretch. It's a long season. You're going to have nights, right? And practices where you're like, oh, are we ever going to win another game? Are we ever going to learn how to shoot threes? Whatever the analogy is. But yeah, this is a veteran team, like you said, and it's going to be fun to see how they do lock in as they look at playoffs.
Yeah, we're a group that when we're locked in, we're really a pretty special group. And getting us to consistently do that is still something where I would say we're searching for to find that consistency. It hasn't been there as much as we would like, right? And we nitpick as coaches. We're 11-3, and our 3 losses are to 3 really good teams in Moorhead, Alec, and Sauk Rapids. So we haven't had a bunch of clunkers. We haven't let one let ones slip that we shouldn't. And so, we've put ourselves in a really good spot. It looks, if things stay the course or even similar in the ballpark, we'll likely be a 2 seed at the end of this, and there's a lot of season left, and we have to take care of business. But we're in a nice stretch of our schedule with teams that we're ahead of in the standings, right? And that they're not gimmies by any stretch. But so you feel like you're in a pretty good stretch of your schedule. It all comes down to the QRF, and Alexandria will likely have a substantial lead there. And then right now, again with 10, 11 games still to go, we're in a pretty good spot QRF-wise from the next team, which would be Apollo. And again, a lot left, but yeah, we're always looking at that. We're always kind of figuring out where do we land, what do we need to do, what do we need to be prepared for, and to keep moving forward and end up there at the end of the year.
Strange just to have the one game to talk about from this week, but as Matt mentioned earlier, they do play today. West Fargo at 2 o'clock. Brad Anderson will have the call on Channel 977 this afternoon. In that game against Wilmer, and in listening to Brad the other night, it sounded like Levi King just was really steady for you, both ends of the floor, and it's almost like we can say that about a Levi every time he's out there if he's healthy, right?
And that's the health has been a deal there. You get little tweaks and sprains and illness, and he seems like a kid who's maybe who has been fighting that all year. So fun to have him back after missing a game. His impact on our team is huge. He does so many things that you don't. I don't know if you can coach a little bit, but his instinct, his anticipation, his motor to go get the ball. He had 6 offensive rebounds, and 5 of those they're jaw dropping. Right, he's jumping over guys, around guys, and then he finds a way to flick it back up on the rim for a putback. And he averages 10 points a game on stuff that you don't run offense for. It's just him being an athlete and having great instincts and a great motor. Super tough kid. We were teasing him the other day because, how you feeling? I'm fine. Well, you're not fine. You've been hurt. How are you actually feeling? I'm fine. He's just not going to tell you, right? He's one of those kids that I'm fine because if I tell you that my ankle's actually hurting, I know that you might not let me practice today, right? And, okay, we got long season. Got to take care of your body. I'm fine. Okay, let's go. But one of those guys you always want in your corner. Just an awesome kid. All right, one of those kids I think super highly of for the way he carries himself. You don't see emotion out of Levi. Consistency is his deal, but he's not going to ride that roller coaster. When something goes right, he gets to the next play quickly. When he has a huge play, you wouldn't know it. He's hustling back to defend. So just love what he brings to our team. When we haven't had him, we've missed him tremendously. So nice to see him getting healthy again, and yeah, the impact he has is huge.
So when he comes up to you and says, "Coach, my ankle's a little sore," if it's hurting.
Yep.
Yeah.
If he says it's a little sore, it probably means I should go get an X-ray.
Right.
Something significant is there, and love that toughness out of him. He'll go to the next level and be a really high level football player wherever he decides to go do that. But a kid we love having on our team.
Ryan Hurst and Henry Bethel give you quite a 1-2 scoring punch. You can get points anywhere with those guys. One of them, Ryan can dunk, as we talked about last week. He had 3 dunks in the first half, whatever. And Henry can shoot the 3, can drive to the basket. I suppose Ryan can step out and shoot the 3 too.
Right.
They can score from anywhere. What a tough tandem, and you throw Levi in the mix, to defend for Wilmer or anybody.
Yeah, those 2 guys give us a really good chance every time we walk in the gym. Henry's been scoring at such a high level, kind of turning the corner in terms of being a distributor, moving the ball. He had a couple great defensive possessions to end the game the other night where he took their best guy and kind of really eliminated him from getting a quality look at the end of the game. And then the things Ryan does too, right? And with his length, his athleticism, he said he's a really good shooter. He just doesn't take many of them, and that's something we've kind of worked on trying to get more of. He's a kid we think can knock down perimeter shots for us, and so trying to get him involved that way. Yeah, and just I think Ryan's just scratching the surface who he will be, right? He'll go on to Jamestown next year, and he'll just continue to grow and expand his game. Super competitive, just wants to win, right? A kid who just wants to fight and compete and win, and so it's fun to watch him. A kid that can really score it, rebounds the ball, has good vision, willing passer. Rim protection, right? So it just does so much for us. It's really nice to have those two guys in your corner. Talented, athletic kids that love to compete.
And Alex Ellison was in double digits for you that night too, and he's really come on. We talked about that last week a little bit, but overall, you're getting just contributions. Guys get on the floor and they step right in and contribute in their strong area.
Yep. And I think I've talked with some of the coaches the other day. Alex and Jack Ratz are really almost our two most consistent guys. And not that they're going to average 20 a night, but you know what you're going to get. They're going to be great communicators. They're going to be tough and gritty. They're going to rebound the ball. They're going to do their assignment well. And that consistency is huge. The offensive production, Alex has had a couple really nice games lately where he's asserted himself. Hit a really big three for us against Wilmer. And so fun to see him assert himself offensively. He's a really talented offensive kid. Has done a great job throughout his career of accepting a role, right? And now we kind of at times need him to step into a little bit more assertive offensive role. And it's fun to see that, as a team, we really haven't shot the ball well this year. If you said, are you a good shooting team? I'd say absolutely. Luke Pearson, Isaac Ellison, Micah, Alex, those guys can shoot it. You come to a practice and you go, wow, you guys shoot it. Yep. And then it hasn't translated to games. And we keep saying it's going to click. Mm-hmm. It's at Brainerd, it clicked. Right? And when it clicks, we become super dangerous. Yeah. And we trust our guys, and we have a ton of confidence in them. They're really good shooters. They put in the time. After practice yesterday, Isaac Ellison's in there getting shots. Right? Mm-hmm. They're doing the work. And I think if you catch us on a night where we start to roll a little, and I think that's coming sooner than later, we'll be a handful. I mean, we've been scoring 70 plus a game, shooting really, really poor percentages, to be honest. And the nights where it's clicked a little bit, that puts you into the 80 point category pretty easily. And we defend well enough that we'll be a tough out when that starts to click.
Next week, we'll have 3 games to talk about because the Otters play today at West Fargo at 2. Again, you can hear that on 977, and I'll let Brad Anderson ask the questions about what West Fargo's bringing on the pregame show with Matt. And then Detroit Lakes in Tuesday night, and that's the cancer.
Yep, cancer awareness
night. Yep, and then at Ricori on Friday. So
yeah, busy week.
You bet. All right, Matt. Well, good luck today. Thanks for coming in. I kept you a couple minutes too long. I'm already behind.
That's all right.
We'll work on it. So
appreciate it.
Thanks, Matt Johnson, head coach of the Otter boys basketball team. We're talking Otter swimming next. Randy Hansen is in. They had a busy week, so we'll get you caught up there after this timeout. You're listening to the Coaches Show on News Talk 1250 KBRF and streaming live through the Fergus Now app.
Here's to a great season for all our favorite high school athletes. American Legion is a favorite too and serves up everyone's favorite barbecued ribs. American Legion of Fergus Falls, open each Wednesday through Saturday on Pebble Lake Road in Fergus Falls.
Finding that missing shin guard. Remembering whether it's a home or away game. Getting the right kid to the right playing field on the right day. Why are simple things sometimes so complicated? Thankfully, with auto owners, insurance doesn't have to be one of them. We work with independent agents who keep insurance simple so you can worry about more important things. Like not being that fan. Oh, come on, ref! That's simple human sense.
Visit the Arneson Agency at their new location, 120 East Lincoln, Fergus Falls.
Quality Toyota is proud to salute the achievements of each quality player. It takes teamwork to compete, and the Quality Player Award recognizes the extra effort by an individual in each athletic contest. Quality Toyota commends the hard work, dedication, and quality efforts of these outstanding youth. That attitude will help each quality player as they go forward. Congratulations to each of the quality players from Quality Toyota Toyota on West Lincoln Avenue in Fergus Falls. QualityToyota.net. Let's go places.
At American Federal Bank, they believe in the power of teamwork, dedication, and supporting future champions. That's why they're proud supporters of local high school athletics. From Friday night lights to buzzer-beating shots, these student athletes inspire us all. Just like them, American Federal Bank is here to go the extra mile for you. Whether it's a savings account, loan, or helping you score your financial goals, let's cheer on the young athletes together. American Federal Bank, investing in the community, one play at a time. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
High quality local embroidery for your community. Running Stitches is the choice for everything, from business logos to team apparel and personal projects. They bring your designs to life. Andrew and Allison Olson from Running Stitches Embroidery are proud supporters of local sports.
We are back on the Coaches Show this morning. Thanks for joining us. Randy Hansen joins us as well, the head coach of the Otter Boys swimming and diving team. They were busy this week, but they're going to be busy, well, from here until you're not busy, which is quite a ways down the road.
Bit, yeah.
We're just talking Tuesday, Thursday.
Thursday.
Yeah. So there you go. I bet you're practicing today, too.
Of course.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely,
Yeah.
right? No time off.
Nope.
Well, the Otters were up against St. Cloud Tech Tuesday night. Tech, Ricori. Are they together? Yeah.
Tech Cathedral, Ricori, Becker, TCRB. Yeah. So, yeah.
Okay, that's for that
It's-
conversation's for another day, I
It
guess.
is, yes. Yep.
But they won 115-68. What's their nickname? Do they go Tigers or?
I don't even know
Yeah.
that they have a nickname, to be honest. That's a good question. So they just are called TCRB, yeah. So they
TCRB.
compete at the Tech pool, which is very nice. But yeah, they all, yeah, I'm not really sure.
Maybe it's like the Utah Hockey Club. It's the TCRB.
I think so.
Swimming
yeah.
club.
Could very well be, yeah.
Anyway, that night you still weren't up to 100% of your swimmers in that meet, were you? Because you've been battling illness and.
Yeah, we've had a bunch of guys out sick, and Landon Vadava was missing that one, and we knew it was going to be tough anyway. I mean, they've got divers, and so that's just part of the deal. But besides that, even they just had a little bit more depth and a little bit more higher ender guys. So I was hoping to be a little closer than it was, and not having Landon, didn't help us. But I'm not sure that would have mattered to be in the end. And and they've got trying to match up our guys and their guys. We beat them last year at our place. That came down to the very last race. And Lucas Toole took second in that 4 free relay, or was it third? But anyway, they got the point that we needed to win that one, so that was fantastic. And they got a transfer in this year that really helped them a lot, and so and so be it. And they've got a 2-time defending champ in the 200 and the 100 fly, who is going to swim at the University of Virginia next year, which is an elite program. So it's fun just to watch him, and he's just a nice kid and really just a great athlete. And so you just kind of sit back and just applaud that and watch greatness in the pool. So. Yeah, and we swam okay. We're in kind of in the middle of the rough patch. And that, besides the sickness, it's just the and
The dog days.
it is, and we, Derek Abrahams always talks about, telling the kids too, like, in just he calls it embrace the process. And I always told when my daughter was high jumping, that you'd have the ups and the downs, and you just got to enjoy the ride. You got to enjoy the good times, but you got to weather the bad times. And this isn't necessarily bad. It's just kind of right now, so we're just in the middle of that. And so, you keep a positive attitude, you keep working, it's like, oh, I'm swimming so hard. And, like Reese has been just trying to get under 58 seconds in the 100, or trying to get low 57s in the 100 back, and he's just not getting it. It's just beating his head against the wall, and it's like, it'll be there. It's just, the little teeny PRs right now are about the max that we're going to get. So, we'll just got to weather that, and thank God we're all finally still healthy, or getting back to healthy.
Yeah, and you started that meet really well with that 200 medley relay, getting a first place there. How do you feel about that relay right now? Are you settling into the way it's going to look?
Yeah, that's not going to change a whole lot. So that's going to be pretty much the section group there. So it's just a matter of getting their timing down, and and getting Ethan Strandy's back 100% healthy. So working on some things with him, and getting Reese to take it out fast. And so it's coming along. We just got to tweak some things, and Lucas Toole's just been growing and getting more confident, and so his splits have been dropping a lot, and we need that, because Logan Rott was a big hole to fill in that relay, and so he's doing well for an 8th grade kid, and he's coming along nicely.
Well, and you've got some really good blue chip swimmers there with Reese and Jaden Kopinski leading off and finishing up in that relay, and those guys are just you know what you're getting from them every time out. It seems, right?
Yeah, I can pretty much pencil them in as that I know they're going to be one or two in that race, and so in their individual races, and Jaden's come a long way. We've been really working on his turns, and he's just such a strong and coachable kid and works hard, and so he's getting more and more confident every day. And just, like we like to tell all the guys, when we start nitpicking little teeny things, it means you're doing a lot of things right. And it's like, you have this little minor thing, fix that. And it's not that we're getting on you, but it's like, this is what we get to do. We don't have to fix major things. We get to fix little teeny things, and that will make a big difference.
Yeah, a little tweaking,
a
that's
bit.
right.
Yep.
Well, and they're young.
Yeah, I go back. It's funny you said that. I was just kind of thinking about some of the meets we've had. It's like, okay, next year we don't lose anybody, and this guy will be gone on that team. This guy will be gone on that time. So it's kind of like, okay, that doesn't mean things are easier, but it's like that will certainly help our cause next year, and and they'll have guys that'll step into roles too. But we've got 3 juniors. That's it, and then we got a big crowd of sophomores. So. And it's been fun to watch the younger guys swim, so I can't say enough good things about Riley Anderson, who's a sophomore, and, has been swimming with us now for a while. And he's one of those kids that has kind of found a niche, and whether he likes it or not, he might be swimming the 500 a lot because he just keeps dropping time and keeps doing so well. And he's good friends with Sam Rasmussen on our team, and they kind of have a little friendly, not friendly rivalry with each other. So they, gunning for each other, and so that's been kind of fun too. But he doesn't say a whole lot, but he just gets in there and grinds. And he took a really important point. It didn't help us to win the meet, but he took a really important point in the 500 at Wilmer, and that was just awesome. So he's just, a lot of those freshmen and sophomore guys have really improved a lot, and it's been fun to watch.
The duel at Wilmer, they won 91-79. I think you mentioned in your comments that they don't have diving either. So it was kind of like just a, swim meet. You all had the same weapons. And how did you feel overall about the competition there?
Yeah, that was their second home meet of the year. So we knew that they'd be gunning for it. We knew they hadn't won a CLC meet yet, and so they knew they were gunning. So I told the guys, I said that if I was their coach, this is what I'd be telling them too, that this is very much a winnable one. You got to show up. And talking to their coach afterward, he said, we swam our best meet of the season. We've had more season PRs than we've had. So he said, we swam really, really well. So I'm like, well, you're welcome. So, and we didn't swim poorly. We just, like I said, we needed a few breaks, and we just didn't get them. And that's okay. They went 1, 2, 3 in the 53, which just killed us. And that, our guys, it was Ethan Strandy and Gabe Carlson, and they swam close to their best time. So they didn't, swim bad races. It's just, that didn't cost us the meet either, but that is just, that didn't help us in our cause at all. And so we knew our medley relay would be close, and we didn't get that. And I knew we'd win our 400 free relay, so I stole Jaden out of that and put him in the 2 free relay, thinking we'd be able to snipe them on that one. That didn't work out, and so we won the 4 free relay no matter what. But it's just a couple things just didn't go our way. And Landon, that was his first meet back since True Team, so he'd been out for a couple weeks, and he gave it his all, but he clearly was not 100%. And he did what he could, and that was fine. And we were just happy to have him back. And I think he's probably all the way back now for next week, which would be great. But and his effort didn't cost us the meet. It just didn't, just a combination of things just didn't work out. And so that's okay. And we move on and just get ready for next week.
Talked about stealing Jaden out of the 400 free relay to swim in the 200 free relay, and that turned out to be your best time in that event of the season in the 200 free relay. How tempting is it to put Jaden in all 3 relays, and yet, then he's so good in his individual events? Is that something that crosses your mind or not?
Yeah, but we'll see. We have to start to look at, the goal is to get as many people to state as possible in as many relays. So is taking him out of an individual and putting him in that relay, is that going to help that relay get to state, or will it get to state without him? So those are questions that we'll have to think about, and that I've kind of played around with in my head a little bit. So, TBD, I guess. We'll see what happens. Yeah.
Coach's prerogative
right.
there, you know, you can think about it.
Right, yep.
Until you make the decision.
Yeah.
And then the credit or the blame goes to you, right?
That's right, absolutely. Yeah.
Matthew Toole that night in Wilmer had a couple of firsts for you.
Yeah, he's coming along. I mean, not really coming along, but he was kind of in a funk for a little bit too, and kind of maybe where Reese is right now, and he kind of has started to break out of that a little bit, you know, and he really didn't have any competition pushing him, and he still swam really well and did his job, and he was cruising along pretty good, you know, and then kind of shut it down a little bit in his 500, and so which is totally okay, you know, so he got the win, and that was all that mattered, but yeah, he's swimming, he's healthy, which is important, and he's got. I don't want to say he lost his confidence, but he's feeling good about where he's at now and compared to about 2 weeks ago.
And some of the guys that are finishing like 5th or 6th for you in different events are getting more varsity swimming experience. Again, you're young, but talk about some of the guys who are competing for you, like Carson Kovar and Lennon Highland and Armand Jefferson, the guys we don't talk about a lot that aren't doing the 1st and 2nd and 3rd places for you, but are starting to really kind of find their way.
Yeah, and Carson's a freshman that's come a long way with his threw him in the 200 IM to see what happens, and he really did well, and he's been improving steadily with that. And Lennon Highland's actually an 8th grader that has been swimming mostly middle school, and so the last couple meets now we've been taking a lot of middle schoolers that want to come with, taking along, and he's been a club swimmer, and so he's had experience that way, and he's kind of growing, getting some confidence there too. And in fact, he asked me the other day, why am I in the varsity heat of this? And said, well, because of the way our lineup's set, and you're the next fastest guy, and I need some points, so there you are. So, here he actually got to swim next to Micah Davis, the state champion. And,
oh, wow.
And I can't remember what the event was, the 100 free, I think, maybe. But he was, that was the 50 free. But anyway, I said, he says, he's going to smoke me. I said, but you get to tell your friends that you got to swim in the same pool right next to the lane of a state champ when he wins again this March. So that's just, nobody says you have to beat him or, he'll come close, but you get the chance to do that. And so that's awesome. So, just have the guys grow into that and have the confidence to, to keep working and just keep going. And Armand's come a long way too. He's a sophomore boy that, and we're working on him being more consistent. He'll swim a really good race one day, and then the next day it won't be quite as good as we were hoping. So we're getting there, and those guys too is just those technique things, those little things, and once their bodies learn to do it all the time, that really helps.
Yeah. Gabe Carlson's been swimming a lot of different events for you. Keaton Vadova's fitting in there, and Gabe has really come into his own. He's grown a lot, and has swam with us in 7th grade, and is really he's really turned the corner this year. And he was important last year, but he's really showing his importance this year. And Keaton is, the Vadavas have been swimming forever, and so he's the last one of that group, and he is. He swam his first 100 fly ever at a meet. I needed somebody, and I know you can swim a 50. And I said, do 100 in practice. And he did and survived. I said, guess what? You're doing it in the meet. He's like, okay. So, and he did really well. And I kind of think he's probably going to be swimming it again here because I need some flyers. So he's just got to keep growing and get more confident. That's all. Yeah. Yeah. Exciting to see so many young swimmers, and I know the numbers are not where you want them to be. You want more kids out there, of course, but you got some guys that seems that really enjoy it and are wanting to learn and contribute.
Yeah, and we just got to keep building our middle school group, and we're going to be doing some things in March with some 6th graders, and running a little camp that'll hopefully get some 6th graders excited about it. But the guys are coming along, and Coach Kowalski is doing a great job with those 5-6 middle schoolers, and then some of them are going to be with us for a little bit here at the end of the year, which is awesome.
All right, this week now you're at DL on Tuesday, and now they're together with Perham now, right?
They just call themselves DL, but it's DL and Perham together, correct? Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
And then Sartell comes in here on Thursday, and I don't know how many home meets you have left, but it can't be many.
Well, we've got to make up with Apollo. Yep, so that's the next week. So we actually went 3 away, and now we go 3 home. So So we'll go Sartell at home on Thursday, and then we go home with Apollo, and then home with Park Rapids. So we go, so 3 home meets to end the year, which is kind of nice.
Kind of unusual.
Yeah, very unusual.
Like that. Okay.
So. Park Rapids needed some meets, and so they said they'd come to us, and so they're their team that's on the rebuild. So that'll be a nice way for us to swim some different things. But yeah, this next week we go to DL, and they're similar to us. They haven't won a conference meet, and so there too, where their coach is going to be saying, "Look, here's our chance," and they've got divers, and so that's going to be 13 points of a hole that we got to dig out of from the get-go, and and so be it. They've got a really good swimmer in Blake Swenson, and they've got a couple other guys that fill some nice roles for them. But we'll just have to step up and be there, and it's a chance for us to win as well. So. Yeah, we haven't been to the DL pool in a long time. The community center pool is a unique experience to swim in, to say the least. It's a little on the warm side, and it's weird with a water slide right there, but that's okay. And we'll be ready to go.
I guess that's character.
I guess it's something. Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Very good. Glad to see the Otters getting back to full health, and good luck this week, and have a good practice here this morning.
Right. Thanks a lot.
All right, Randy Hansen, head coach of the Otter Boys swimming and diving team, joining us on our Coaches Show here on News Talk 1250 KBRF and streaming live on the Fergus Now app.
Nelson Auto Center in Fergus Falls has a fantastic starting lineup with America's 3 favorite truck brands, Ford, Ram, and GMC. Nelson Auto can help you enjoy your time out on the road. Check out our starting lineup at Nelson Auto Center, Fergus Falls.
Hi, my name is Lori from LB Homes in Fergus Falls, Minnesota. We are growing our talented and dedicated team of LPNs, CNAs, and RNs, and we want to hear from you. Join our team and make a difference in the lives of our residents every day. To explore or apply, visit lbhomes.org/careers or call Heather at 218-998-1400. LB Homes, caring for you wherever you call home.
When a warrior faces adversity, he fights through it. He finds a way. Freedom isn't free. Rolling strong. Belief. Believe you can, and you will.
Wheelchairs for Warriors provides mobility solutions to veterans and first responders injured in the line of duty. Join the mission and visit wheelchairsforwarriors.org.
Hi, I'm Kathy Zimmerman. When we walked into Cornerstone cabinets and countertops, we were immediately drawn to the beautiful kitchen displays. We just knew this was the place to design our new kitchen. Bonnie and Lisa guided us every step of the way. When it came time for installation, Wayne and his team were spot on. Now we have the kitchen of our dreams.
Cornerstone Cabinets and Countertops, Fergus Falls, where your vision comes to life.
Did you miss the indoor used car sale at Minnesota Motor Company? If so, don't worry. The sale prices have been extended through January 31st. Plus, they took in many quality trades during the sale, so stop by and check out their impressive inventory. Hurry in because the inventory is going fast. It might be cold outside, but the deals are still hot. Minnesota Motor. South Pebble Lake Road, Fergus Falls. Hey, we're back on the Coaches Show this morning. We're welcoming Randy Misegatis from Henning, the head coach of the Hornet boys basketball team. And as usual, at this time of the year, the Hornets are playing really well. It seems like that's kind of the norm here, Randy. You guys have had just a great run, and you won 8 of 9. You're on a 5-game winning streak, and a lot of good things happening here. And all of this, and I'm going to go back to the beginning here because we haven't had a chance to even discuss it, but all of this without Cale Misegatis, who was one of the key guys coming into the year, and you've had to do a lot of adjusting without him available in the lineup. How have you addressed that? Because for the way you're playing right now, it looks like you're not missing a beat.
Yeah, we're hanging in there, and when Cale went down, that was a pretty big blow for our guys, and me as his coach and his dad was a hard one, but we just kind of had some different guys step up, and you don't replace 25 points a game and everything he did, but everybody's done a little bit more, and the good news is Cale practiced for the first time Wednesday this week, so we're trending in the right direction, and he got the all clear on Tuesday to begin practice, so we're working our way back, and we expect here within a week to 10 days, he'll be playing in games too. But the other guys have just jumped in and being real senior heavy having that lineup with a lot of seniors has really helped us too.
Where have you seen the most growth with the absence of Cale? Who's kind of stepped into roles and maybe gotten more comfortable at the varsity level?
Yeah, I would say, the number one who kind of is handling the ball more is Eli Reinbold, who, Eli's a senior, played a lot for us, a hard-nosed, tough kid. He's probably our fourth leading scorer, but handling the ball a lot and really has become our best defender. And then the other three senior scorers, Tegan Bierke, Logan Kostelecki were all conference players last year, and those guys are consistently, they're 15 and 10 almost every night at least. Tegan might even be averaging a little more than that. And then Noah Umland has shot the ball well too. So, we've got enough depth where we can have a different guy step up each night.
Well, let's review this week because you had 2 wins. You beat New York Mills 87-49 on Tuesday night, and then last night beating Bertha Hewitt 62-32. That game against Mills, you guys shot over 50% as a team. I've seen that before this year from your team, shooting right around 50 or over 50. This must be a pretty good shooting team overall.
Yeah, and I didn't bring the stats with me, but I think last time I looked, Noah Umland was right around 45% from three, and Bierke is right behind that, and Kostelecki. So, and then when we get Cale back, he's honestly probably the best percentage shooter. So hopefully he can get in the mix there too. But I tell the kids all the time, the first stat I can look at and probably predict who won the game was shooting percentage. And last night was a bit of a struggle. We didn't shoot it well last night, but hopefully on those nights you play defense well enough to keep you in the game.
And against Mills, just what you were talking about, Tegan had 19 points, 11 rebounds, and throw in 7 assists there. That's okay. And Logan Kostelecki, 18 points and 13 rebounds. Double-doubles are kind of normal for those two guys.
Yeah, those two kind of are, our glue and do those things. Logan is really natural rebounding, and he's about 6'5", and, does a good job anticipating. And then Tegan he just does a little bit of everything, just a really tough kid, and likes to share the ball too. So that makes it really fun to play with him.
Yeah, I think of Logan, he's a good golfer too.
Yeah, he's a very good golfer, yeah.
I'm sure as a basketball coach or any sport, you love the mental part that golf brings to the competition, and just in a clutch situation. These guys have been there, right?
Yeah, and he's been at state a couple times, and that's one thing we kind of jab at him a little bit about, like, when he's frustrated that he didn't make a shot or maybe didn't get a call from an official, like, hey, you get to handle that on the basketball floor just like you would on the golf course. So, I think there's some overlap there for sure, and the competition is good.
Yeah, that was a good win against Mills. And then last night, like you mentioned, you didn't shoot it as well last night, but that's where your defense takes over. And defensively, like, I think you're a defensive guru. You've had some outstanding defensive teams, and you emphasize that from a young age.
Yeah, we kind of pride ourselves on playing D, and and it's really fun when everybody's connected on that end of the floor. And last night it was a struggle. The ball doesn't go in the basket early on, but I think we held Bertha Hewitt. They had 2 field goals in the first half. So on nights where the ball's not going in at the clip we're used to, then we tell the kids all the time the defense should always be there. That's within your control. Sometimes the shots won't go, but there's no excuse for not playing D every night.
And again, double-doubles for both Tegan and Logan. But in a game like last night where you have it in hand, your bench players get a lot of minutes, varsity minutes, and I know that's key for building for the future too, and getting their confidence and just their varsity experience that they don't normally get. How did you feel about the way they responded with the minutes they got?
Yeah, it was fun last night. We got some JV kids in, some sophomores, juniors that don't normally get a whole bunch of varsity time. They got in earlier than maybe they normally would have, and that helps create depth. And then even some seniors who don't normally play a lot got some time, and it's just fun for a program and as a school as a whole. It was snow week and heading this week, so we had a big crowd, girl-boy doubleheader last night, and we got Braden Graby is a junior who's playing for the first time in a few years, and he made a 3 at the end of the game, and you would have thought we won the state tournament. The place went crazy. So it's really fun just for building camaraderie with the team, and to watch the kids on the bench celebrate when that happens for somebody is really special, and I think important for building a cohesive team.
How are the numbers overall, Randy, for your program?
The boys we're hanging in there. We're a small school, so I think we've got 29 through 12, which is a decent number for Class A school our size. We're one of the small schools in Section 6, and we kind of, use that as motivation a little bit too. And then we have to play a few kids up. Our C team last night. We played 4 8th graders, and but they're competing. They've only lost once, so we're holding in there. We got to mix and match a little bit with the numbers, but overall, we're doing fine.
Well, you're number 4 in the state, I think, in the Class A ranking, and I know rankings for the media and the fans. But how much does that mean to you as a coach and to your team when you see the notoriety from around the state? Because you don't have to dwell on it and say, hey, look at us, we're number 4, but it's still a real testament to what you're doing. Yeah, and it's something, when we first were going through that and we were receiving that recognition, whatever it was, 6-7 years ago, you kind of didn't want the kids to know about it, or at least that's the way I approached it. And now there's really no hiding from it. The kids know, and the parents know, and it is a big deal to community people too. So we sort of embrace it, and they know where the ranking is, and they know we're going to get the best shot from a lot of people. And the irony of that is I think we're ranked 4th or 5th in the state, and right now KBRF we're 3rd in our subsection. So it's one of those things. The bottom half of our conference has struggled this year a little bit, which probably hurts us KBRF wise. So right now Ada Borup and Park Christian are ahead of us, but those things are out of your control. We just tell the kids we got to try to keep winning and go from there. Well, that'll be an interesting subsection, and section tournament. So, tournament time's a whole different ball game, so to speak. Yeah. March is fun, and that's what we're talking about all year. We're trending toward March, and I know Henning is a basketball community and really follows it, and there's just nothing like the electricity in the gym come March. Well, you're 15-2 right now, and your Park Region Conference record is 8-0. When's the last time you lost a conference game? Yeah, it's been, I think we've been undefeated in the conference the last 2 years, and we probably rattled off 30-some straight. Maybe back in, 2021, something like that. But we've been fortunate to win our share. I think we've won 9 since I've coached. So, it's been a good run, and that's always one of the goals at the beginning of the year is try to win that conference. So, right now we have Pillager coming into Henning in a couple weeks, and their only conference loss is to us. And when we played up there, Ryan Despard was out with an injury, and Kale was out. So hopefully in 2 weeks when they're back in Henning, we've got both those guys on the floor too. As far as when you have the dominance you have in the conference, as far as scheduling non-conference opponents, and you're the AD, so you get to do a little bit of that, of course. Sure. It seems like you do a good job finding some competition. You're here at the Fergus Falls tournament, played a good Morris team in that tournament. How important is it to line up some teams like Morris to play in your non-conference schedule? Yeah, I think, we've been able to do that over the last, 7 or 8 years, and it's funny you say that because I just talked to Matt Johnson as he walked out, and we were talking about the Fergus Holiday Tournament. So we'll be back there again next year, and it is difficult for a school our size to get quality games against 2A and even 3A teams. When you play the QRF game, those bigger schools, it a lot of times doesn't do them any good to play us. So when we can get those games, it's important. And because of the success we've had, we get opportunities to play in some other events too. Go to Concordia and play over, right before Christmas. The Breakdown does a good job. We got beat by Nevis over at Perm. And in a couple of weeks, we're going to play Hankinson, North Dakota in Moorhead, and they're unbeaten in North Dakota Class B. So that should be a good test for us. And, already as we schedule for next year, some of those things are lining up already. So we try to schedule up as much as we can because, your conference schedule is what it is. Those 14 games are sort of set, and then we try to mix and match from there. Talk about your coaching staff. Who's helping you out? What's the brain trust over there in Henning? Well, if you ask maybe my wife, I've got my
My brother is a volunteer. Mark Oscarson is my assistant, and he's been there for a while. Ryan Emter is our junior high coach, but he's around a lot, and he's been with us for a long, long time. So we got some continuity there. But then my wife teases me that my brother there, and then I have my nephew, Blake Wollovin. They're both volunteers, so they're not there full time, but she says we're all too much alike. We've got three guys saying the same thing. So maybe I need to get some different blood in there a little bit. But, Mark and Ryan, again, this morning, those guys are running our youth program this morning back in Henning with me here. And, they both have kids now. Ryan's son is a fifth grader who, if you watch him, he's been in the gym since he could walk. And you can see it. I mean, he's very, very good. And, his dad's in the gym with him all the time. So it's fun to see those things. And Ryan was joking with me this week that, I have to at least keep coaching until his son Reggie's done. So we'll see how that goes. But, we've been pretty fortunate for a small school to have a good, really solid, consistent coaching staff.
Well, and that's so key, the kids are familiar with you from, the elementary age up. That's awesome. Yep. Randy, I really appreciate you driving over from Henning. Not a beautiful drive today, I don't think.
Yeah, it was okay. A little bit of snow blowing across the road, but nothing major.
Well, keep it rolling here on a great run with the Hornets winning last night. Now 15-2, 8-0 in the conference, 8th win in their last 9 games, 5-game winning streak. Lots of things to like if you're a Henning Hornet fan, and I know you had the big crowd for the doubleheader last night, and I'm sure they're all looking forward to the postseason run, which is always fun. Thank you very much.
All right, thanks for having me, Craig.
Randy Visagatas, the head coach of the Henning boys basketball team. We're going to shift gears and talk hockey for the rest of the program. So we'll have Tim Lill and Mike Donahue as we talk Otter hockey on the other side of the break here on News Talk 1250 KBRF and streaming live video streaming through the Fergus Now app.
Quality Toyota is proud to salute the achievements of each quality player. It takes teamwork to compete, and the Quality Player Award recognizes the extra effort by an individual in each athletic contest. Quality Toyota commends the hard work, dedication, and quality efforts of these outstanding youth. That attitude will help each quality player as they go forward. Congratulations to each of the quality players from Quality Toyota on West Lincoln Avenue in Fergus Falls. QualityToyota.net. Let's go places.
Here's to a great season for all our favorite high school athletes. American Legion is a favorite too and serves up everyone's favorite barbecued ribs. American Legion of Fergus Falls, open each Wednesday through Saturday on Pebble Lake Road in Fergus Falls.
At Wheelchairs for Warriors, serving America's heroes is our mission. With your support, we serve veterans and first responders injured in the line of duty across the United States of America, providing them custom fit, complex rehab mobility solutions to ensure they rejoin their lives at the highest level of independent mobility and function possible. Join the mission at wheelchairsforwarriors.org.
Alan Haugrud, attorney at law, has been successfully helping clients in the Fergus Falls and Ottertail County area for over 30 years. Alan Haugrud specializes in family law, estate planning, business law, general practice, and bankruptcy. When you need an experienced attorney to handle your concerns, contact Alan Haugrud for a free initial consultation today. 998-4299. Alan Haugrud, attorney at law, 121 East Lincoln Avenue, downtown Fergus Falls.
High-quality local embroidery for your community. Running Stitches is the choice for everything, from business logos to team apparel and personal projects. They bring your designs to life. Andrew and Allison Olson from Running Stitches Embroidery are proud supporters of local sports.
The Fergus Falls Home and Garden Show, presented by Fergus Home and Hardware, is coming to the Bigwood Event Center March 8th and 9th. This is your chance to showcase your products and services to hundreds of homeowners looking to refresh, renovate, and upgrade their spaces. Whether you're into landscaping, remodeling, or anything home-related, this event puts your brand front and center. Spaces are limited, so don't miss out. Reserve your spot at the Fergus Home and Garden Show by contacting Leighton Media today.
Nelson Auto Center in Fergus Falls has a fantastic starting lineup with America's 3 favorite truck brands, Ford, Ram, and GMC. Nelson Auto can help you enjoy your time out on the road. Check out our starting lineup at Nelson Auto Center, Fergus Falls.
Wilkin County, Your news leader is News Talk 1250 AM KBRF Fergus Falls. Depend on it.
We are back. We're going to talk boys hockey. Mike Donahue is here, the head coach of the Otters. They had a busy week. Started last Saturday when the Otters were on the road to Thief River Falls and got beat by the Prowlers up there 4-1. I was listening to that game, Mike, during the afternoon, and Bob Roars was doing the call, and it was 4-2. And man, it was right there. You know, in that third period, you had some opportunities to tie the game. I think it was actually 2-1 for a while there, and you had control and some good shots. And you've been involved in so many games like that where you're right there, it's so close, and they were able to get the next goal. And we always say, you know, maybe we overstate it. You know, it's 2-1 game. I always say, hey, next goal's a big one. Duh. I mean, you're going to tie it or be behind by 2, right?
Thanks, Captain Obvious. Is that what? Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, you say it's 2-1. We had a 5-minute power play to try to get that thing knotted up and maybe take control of the game a little bit. But unfortunately, we weren't able to execute on that power play to be able to get that edge that we needed to get going. And then once the Thief scored that third goal to make it 3-1, you could just kind of feel it on the bench a little bit. You know, but we were able to pull the goalie. We had a really good look, Aiden Shaky backdoor to even pull it within 3-2, which would have been huge. Their goaltender made a great save on that play. And then unfortunately gave up an empty netter and get back on the bus, I guess, and head south.
You've had some games where the shots have been, you know, 35, 40 shots. That game, there were not a lot of shots. I mean, there were like 40 shots between the two teams. Was it, how would you describe the flow, if there was any, in that game?
Yeah, it was just, Thief was real tough defensively. They defended the inside well. They're good size on their D, good strength on their D. So for us to be able to penetrate and get inside of there was a challenge. And that's the games that you like to play. You need to be challenged that way. If you're going to go anywhere at the end of the season, that's where you got to be able to get the puck. That's the battles that you need to be able to win come playoff times. So it was a real good challenge. And then on our end of it, we were only giving up 21 shots, that was good to see us defend that way. I know we've been giving up a lot of shots, a lot of good opportunities. So being able to see that we were able to do that against a good offensive hockey team as well.
Michael Schmidt got your goal. Aiden Shaky and Jack Weldy assisted on that goal. That line, that group has come together really well. They've continued to score, as we'll find out looking at the other 2 games you played this week. But they really seem to have stepped up for you as a group.
Yeah, Schmidt's, I think, really elevated his game. As a captain, he's a lead by example guy. When he gets out there, he's practice. If we need some energy going, he gets going. He gets the feet moving. You know, he's really competitive. He doesn't like to lose. He doesn't like to lose puck battles. You know, so when the guys can watch how he's going and be able to step up their game to emulate what he's been doing.
You know, you mentioned the 5-minute power play in that game against Thief River and how frustrating that can be when you have that opportunity and it comes up empty. What's the struggle right now in the power play? What's happening that's making it ineffective at this point?
That day it was a lack of urgency. You know, your team is on the 5-minute kill. You know how important that is to, you know, if you can only give up 1, I think you're feeling pretty good. So when you give up 0 and virtually, I think we maybe had 1 or 2 shots on that whole power play, then you're feeling really good as the penalty kill team and huge time of momentum. So that day was a lot of urgency. Sometimes when we're looking at things, it's sticking to our system, sticking to structure, sticking to your routes, doing what works. And we'll ask them, we'll pull up a clip, and is this what we practice? And they'll, no, that's not what we did. Well, what was the result of that? So being able to just continue to learn. And hockey is a game a lot of read and react. You can't script a lot of things because having the same thing happen twice is really highly unlikely, but there are certain situations, power play being one of them, where you do have time to get routes and specific spots where you need players. And when we commit to that, we enter the zone, you have possession, you're able to get some good looks, and you can certainly change momentum of a game. Not even just by scoring a goal, but if you can dominate, you can get a shot, you can recover a puck, create second, third, fourth shot opportunities, then that can help to change that momentum of a game. And we weren't able to do that at all on Thursday up in Thief, or last Saturday, sorry.
It's hard to get the days straight here, so the games come fast, don't they? I mean, you haven't had a whole lot of practice time this week because you had the 3 games on Saturday, Tuesday, Thursday, so that's always difficult too, where you can't really, spend a lot of time working on improving the power play.
Well, it's just a matter of finding your area of focus, I think, from the day before, and not trying to overwhelm them with too much. At the end of the day, it's a game of skill, and it doesn't matter how much you work on a power play, for example, that we're talking about. If you can't catch a pass and give a pass, doesn't matter what system, what structure you want to play with. So it's a matter of just your skill set and being able to make those plays when we need to.
It's fun to watch a good power play, no doubt, unless it's happening against you. Like War Road, I mean, they move the puck.
Still learning times, though. You can always, even when you're playing someone else, and why were they so successful against our penalty kill? So you always take those opportunities and appreciate what you're playing against.
Tuesday night, you had Sartell in town, and they had 44 shots on goal and beat you 4-2. And you were in that game, gave up a lot of shots, but Holden Stenstrom did the job in net for you with 40 saves in the game. But that's asking a lot of your goalie and your defense when you give up that many opportunities.
Yeah, it is. We just needed to find a way to have a little spark that night. Our spark didn't come till late in the game for whatever reason. We scored our 2 goals late. So being able to, I think that was just a night of consistency, and it's kind of the January doldrums, I think, a little bit right now, and finding that energy every day. You're not always going to feel your best. It's not always going to be 100%, but how can we kind of put those things behind us, focus on what we need to do, and find the most out of yourself every shift.
Well, and, again, your big 3 we were talking about did the scoring for you with Aiden and Michael each getting a goal, and then Jack and the other guys getting assists on both of those goals. And the thing that hurts you this week, you fell behind both in that game and in the Thief River game and in the game on Thursday against Sauk Rapids Rice. You're playing from behind a lot, and that kind of makes it more difficult, too.
It is. That's always a challenge, especially if you try to jump things and you try to get things going too quickly. Like the Sauk Rapids game, we're down, I think it was 5-2 going into the second period, and we're just, let's get the next one. So we're able to get the next one, and then for some reason we want to try to jump a couple pucks and make a couple to start pushing things a little bit too fast. There's I think a time to push and a time to just try to stick to what was just starting to turn. I thought we were turning that game on Thursday night a little bit, and then just made a couple decisions where we wanted to press a little bit too quickly instead of just staying patient, and just another learning lesson.
That was a strange start to that game. I mean, 5 goals in the first period for Sauk Rapids Rice. That's almost insurmountable. Although you had a game earlier this year against who was it? Tech
St. Cloud, yeah.
Yeah, where you got behind like that and fought back and almost got them. Just ran out of time, like Vince Lombardi said. I never lost a game, just ran out of time. You didn't have much time left on that one when you got the last goal. But this one, you get behind 5-0, and you did show some life, and you did fight back like that. But that's still just a huge mountain to overcome.
Well, you need to show up ready to go.
Shift to shift, right?
When you're talking about 2 different games in a span of 2 or 3 weeks, so you got to be show up. All the guys on the ice have to have their head in. They got to be ready to go. Especially you go on the road. A team's going to be ready. They're going to be energized in their own rink. So those are things I think that we need to continue to work on, and we'll get there.
Bright spots from that one, though, your young guys here, Luke Johnson and Tanner Donahue, they work well together. I think they combined for 2 goals, a couple goals by Luke and assists from Tanner.
Yeah, we thought that line had a real strong game that night. Sauk Rapids has some good depth with their top 2 lines, and you're going on the road, and the home team always has last change, and they can get typically pretty favorable matchup. But those guys, along with Caden Zender, they brought. I thought we felt real good energy that night. We were comfortable with whatever the matchup was going to be. And they showed up when we need to find a way to get those guys consistently scoring. They kind of do it in little spurts at times, and that's the sign of growing. So if we can build on that game, build on that effort that they brought that night, and they need to bring that again Tuesday night in Northern Lakes.
That's a big step, isn't it, Mike, coming up from Bantams to varsity, like Tanner and Luke and Caden, all these guys that are new to the varsity game. The speed is what I always hear, is the big difference there. But how do you feel about these young guys adjusting and how they have accepted this with the mental toughness that goes along with varsity hockey, too?
Yeah, for sure. You talk about the mental part because it's a grind. We're there every day. We have high expectations every day. We expect you to show up. You got to get after it. We need your focus. And that's always a big ask too with everything else that's going on with their lives. A lot of them, this isn't the most important thing, which is fine too. But understanding how can we be there to get through those things, and when you're at the rink, you're with your buddies. Let's find a way here to get us an hour and 15, hour and a half, and get the most out of it. So once you start to develop that, and then it's shift in, shift out. You're playing against. That night they played against some juniors. They played against some seniors that had good size, good strength, and they were able to match that. So that's a testament to them and how they're working, and their game's been evolved.
It's got to be a real plus as a coach when you see these young guys. The light bulb goes on, they gain the confidence, you see the improvement out there game to game, and by this time of the year, you're really seeing some positive things. That's got to be satisfying.
Yeah, it is, and of course, obviously, there's coach comes out, there's still a lot of things that we see that we try to work on to get implemented, and that's, I think, part of the fun as the coach is we've tried this, we're not still seeing it in a game, so now what's the next step, what's something else, and trying to throw stuff back into the box and shake it up, and continue to try different ways to incorporate things that we want to do. And one of the things yesterday, the major focus was puck possession. I think we're getting in, we're throwing pucks away to not good areas and good choices, and then we tell them, no, you back check and get tired. There's not one single thing that's fun about back checking. It can't be. It's a lot more fun in the offensive zone to try to score a goal. So, trying to find ways, how can we possess the puck, how can we hold on to the puck and create some good scoring opportunities and set our next line up for success when they're hitting the ice.
Well, this week, you're on the road Tuesday against Northern Lakes, and then home Thursday with Brainerd. Assess the week for us. What's the competition looking like?
Huge challenge. Absolutely. Northern Lakes right now is favored in our section. They've beat Alec twice. We haven't played them yet, so they're playing some really good hockey. They're big, they're deep, they got good goaltending. So trying to find a way to be able to get in, and we're gonna have to try to score goals that night. It's kind of been, as we look at some of these teams that are good defensively, good goaltending, we're 1 goal, 2 goals a game. We've got to get that up to 3 or 4 goals a game somehow, and then Brainerd, a conference game, AA team coming in, so we always know what they're going to bring.
My hope is you shut out Northern Lakes so you don't have to hear the big train whistle, okay?
Yeah, good luck.
Yeah.
Good luck.
That's annoying as a visiting fan.
It's all part of home ice, right?
I know it is,
It's all part of the fun.
That's right. Well, Mike, thank you. Final question, injury update, illness update, how are you doing that one?
Yeah, we're still working on getting Quinn back into the lineup. Kind of has that shoulder thing that he's been working on. Missing a couple other JV guys right now, and then unfortunately Simon McGovern went down the other night in the Sauk Rapids game, so he's well on the road to recovery right now. So thank goodness, and hopefully he's back for golf. That's our biggest thing right now. So,
all right.
And then I guess the other day, Hockey Day Minnesota today. So down at Valley Fair. Shakopee should be an exciting time down there, and I guess the other big hockey news would be the passing of Willard Eikela, the legendary Edina coach. 8 state championships, I think 19 trips to the state tournament, 33 years. So
wow.
Just looking at the legacy he built down there at Edina.
I don't see any coaches wearing hats like he did, though.
No.
You got the baseball style hat.
Absolutely.
All right. Thanks, Mike.
All right,
Appreciate
thank
it.
you.
Enjoy the hockey day. I know
will.
you will. Mike Donahue, head coach of the Otter Boys hockey team, and we are back with more hockey talk after this time out here on News Talk 1250 KBRF and streaming live on the Fergus Now app. Did you miss the indoor used car sale at Minnesota Motor Company? If so, don't worry. The sale prices have been extended through January 31st. Plus, they took in many quality trades during the sale, so stop by and check out their impressive inventory. Hurry in because the inventory is going fast. It might be cold outside, but the deals are still hot. Minnesota Motor. South Pebble Lake Road, Fergus Falls.
CPAs that are certified to win. Smith and Sam Limited.
When you're on a trip and you're not sure how to navigate towards your destination, chances are you use a GPS. And when it comes to accounting, think of Smith & Sem as your GPS for bookkeeping. Smith & Sem will always guide you through the best path for your business needs. Smith & Sem, your numbers team, Fergus Falls.
The Fergus Falls Home and Garden Show, presented by Fergus Home and Hardware, is coming to the Bigwood Event Center March 8th and 9th. This is your chance to showcase your products and services to hundreds of homeowners looking to refresh, renovate, and upgrade their spaces. Whether you're into landscaping, remodeling, or anything home-related, this event puts your brand front and center. Spaces are limited, so don't miss out. Reserve your spot at the Fergus Home and Garden Show by contacting Leighton Media today.
When addiction takes hold, it's easy to feel like no one can help. But you're not in this alone. For 75 years, Hazelden Betty Ford has been at the forefront of addiction and mental health care, evolving treatment, reimagining recovery, and breaking through barriers to help families everywhere find healing. So please reach out at 855-489-2383. Help is here. Sponsored by Hazelden Betty Ford Foundation and aired by the Minnesota Broadcasters Association and this station.
Now at your Napa store, get an instant $10 rebate on a pair of Napa Exact Fit wiper blades. Save 25% on hip receivers and brake controllers. And save up to 38% on winter products like starting fluid, ice melt, power service, and more. Napa Synthetic 5-quart jugs of oil, $20.49. Shop online and pick up in the store in 30 minutes. Shop Napa in Pelican Rapids, Wahpeton, and Fergus Falls.
Napa know-how.
Marlis Winkles talks about Cornerstone cabinets and countertops.
From the moment my husband and I stepped into their room, we were warmly welcomed, and I knew I wanted to work with Bonnie and Lisa to make my dream kitchen a reality. They made helpful suggestions, and Bonnie even came to my house, which was amazing to me, to see the furniture pieces I wanted to incorporate in my design. So I couldn't be more satisfied, and I would tell anybody to choose Cornerstone cabinets to do their kitchen.
Cornerstone cabinets and countertops, West Lincoln Avenue, Fergus Falls.
Welcome back to the show. And Tim Lill is our guest right now, the head coach of the Otter girls hockey team. This is the last week of the regular season we're entering.
Yeah, goes fast.
Doesn't it?
Does.
I mean, you start early.
Yeah, it goes fast, but then if I look back at some of those games in November, it seems like a long time ago. So
Yeah.
I don't even know what to think anymore.
Yeah, it is a strange season because your first game was like November 7th or 8th or something like that.
I believe you on that. Yep, early November.
Yeah, and now January 31st is the last regular season game, and then the playoffs. Give us a little snapshot here, a preview of the playoffs, the way things look right now. What does it look like for the Otters in the section?
Well, I mean, we got a chance to get in the number one seed. You know, the section is not strong, so we've got a good chance at that. But the way we've been playing, I'm not banking on anything. So we're gonna focus on that game Tuesday night, and we're going one at a time, Craig.
It's a big week for you as far as getting some momentum and just some good positive feelings back.
You bet. Yeah, we have to. We had a good practice yesterday. That got me excited. At least we had a good practice.
Yeah.
You know? Set me up there putting Donahue before me. He says it all. He says he's a good speaker, and everything he was saying I would agree with our team. You know, everything's got to go right. You got to play 51 minutes, and you should just rewind that, play that, and I could leave.
No, then we'd miss your intelligent quips that we usually get.
Okay.
Yep. Like the other night.
Right around the corner, yep.
The other night when you had 40 shots and you said, when you have 40 shots, you should be able to score 2 goals, and that's true.
Yeah, it's you got to score. You got to score more than 2 on 40 shots, but that's what we worked on yesterday. So,
well, the Otters for this past week got beat 8-2, or I'm sorry, won 8-2, got beat 3-2, won that game at Northern Lakes, and lost to Sartell Sauk Rapids in that 3-2 game. The game at Northern Lakes, you like to have a game like that every now and then. You don't have many like that because your schedule is so tough. But to have 8 goals scored that's fun.
Yeah, it was necessary. So we just had some more time and space in the offensive zone. So we got to make some plays, and that's really what we needed. And everyone played hard. A lot of people contributed to that, and we were hoping we'd take that right into the Sartell game. But they had a fantastic goalie again, and we had plenty of grade A's and didn't get it done.
That win over Northern Lakes, Hannah Johnson had a 4-point night. Maggie Granigal had a 4-point night, but you also had a lot of other contributors there. Rachel DeBrito had a power play goal for you, and Aubrey Nelson was in on the scoring with an assist. Maddie Brimhall scored a goal. Just got a lot of people involved, and hopefully they got a lot more confidence out there as far as knowing that, hey, we do have some ability to score, and they created a lot of opportunities, but the key is they finished, and that's what you have to do a better job of.
That's what we needed. The power play, we've been kind of, I don't know if we're still at 25% or whatever, but we've still been struggling on the execution, and it's a matter of 2 or 3 feet here and there, and catching that pass in the right spot and getting rid of the puck. And it's close, and I think Donnie was saying that no play is the same whenever. Right. We can't just do what's drawn on the board and stand there. So you have to play, and we always tell them, just go make a hockey play. We got an idea what we want to do, but you got to take that time and space you have and go make a hockey play. And that's what coming into this last couple weeks, and then with playoffs, that's something we can really work on is special teams, but we did get one where we've been working on that is Johnny gets it over on the wall. But I think it was Brimhall this time and just fed it over to DeBrito, and it's a wide open net. And it looks really good when you draw it up on a whiteboard. But to see it executed was a lot of fun, and I think it opened their eyes. I said, oh, that's what you're talking about, So it was fun.
That's one of those that when you're reviewing the video with your team, you'll play that one over a few times and just say, okay, let's watch this again, because this is how it works.
Yeah, you got to show them the positive things too. I could pick out 49 mistakes every time, but you can't beat them all the time. So it's fun to see the successful plays as well.
So on Thursday against Sartell Sauk Rapids, again, you had opportunities galore. Were they what you guys call grade A opportunities? Because it sure seemed like in that third period when you were trying to get the equalizer that you had a lot of really good chances.
Yeah, we spent a lot of time down there, just telling you, finding out the shots were 17-3 in the third period, But that's set up with, we dominated the first period, even though it was 0-0. And we have a level of contentness thinking that's the way the game is going to go. So, we learned from it, these losses. You find out a lot about who you are and, who your team is, and it's starting to sink in. I really think that. There's a lesson in every game. But we got content, and before you know it, we're down 3-0, and now we have to dig ourselves out. And we got one back in the second, and then we got one in the third, but we were one short. So lesson in that, we fought hard in the third period. We just didn't get the result.
You mentioned their goalie really had a good night, and even though you were again, controlling, and maybe had that thought in your mind that, hey, we're controlling this game. It's going to happen sooner or later here. If your goalie, if you're on the Sartell Sauk Rapids and your goalie's standing on her head and making all these saves, eventually, that's going to turn to something positive on the offensive end. And once you pop one in, then you're dangerous.
Yeah, then you're fighting momentum, and for us to dominate that, and then they get the first one, and okay, we'll be okay, and then they get the second one real quick, and then you can see some chins go down and the energy come out of the bench, and then a third one, and it's tough, but this year's been, I think the girls are used to winning a little bit more, and that's not happening. And we need to figure it out ourselves because it's not in the manual anywhere. And that's where I say I think all these lessons are gonna pay off here pretty soon. If not, I could be wrong, but I tell them we're gonna play until they kick us out of the rink. So let's get on board and keep moving forward.
Olivia Jurgens was in goal for you that night. Mia Olson was sick. Mia's just carried the load for you this year, and Olivia has not had a lot of varsity time, but she's been playing a lot of JV, right?
Yeah, they all get reps.
Yep.
Along with LSM, and there's 3 of them, so everyone's getting to play. And Mia was sick that night, and we found that out about noon. So we asked Jergy to step in there, and she was down there and made some of the saves she needed to, but she needs some more help in front too. I don't ever put it on strictly being the goalie's fault. That old deal where they had to get through 5 knotheads before they got to her. So that's what happened.
So this week you've got St. Cloud on Tuesday, and then Detroit Lakes on Friday, and important again to get that momentum back. And when you, how do you evaluate those 2 opponents right now? You saw both of them earlier this year, I think.
We haven't played DL yet.
You haven't played DL, okay.
No,
well, that was the postponement.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. We played St. Cloud, and we won that one. We got 3 really easy, quick ones in the first, and then held on. They woke up, but it was nice of them to spot us 3, and they're playing some really good hockey right now. They just they beat Brainerd 4-1, which is not an easy thing to do. So, credit to their coach. They're a AA school. They know where they sit in their section, and it's behind Moorhead. So, and Roseau and everybody else. So to keep playing isn't always easy to do. So they're going to be a really tough matchup. But we need it. I want another tough one. I want to see if we learned anything from that Sartell game, and like I say, one at a time. That's where we're going to start.
And Detroit Lakes Friday night, that'll be the last game of the regular season, and then into the playoffs. The first round of the playoffs, is it February 4th?
It is. Yeah. It's the first night. It's February 4th. I think it's Tuesday night.
And you'll get a home game, I'm sure.
Yeah,
and
we'll get a homer, I think, and we'll go from there.
Yeah, and you have the experience of being the defending section champions, of course, so there's something there that you want to defend that. You want to be, back there at state, and these girls tasted that last year, and I would think your experience there will certainly help going into the playoffs.
Well, I certainly hope so. It's you got to show up and you got to play 51 minutes. That's the idea now. We're going to come out Tuesday, hopefully, and have a great first period, and then we're going to refocus and say, let's play a second period like we haven't done in a while. So that's the goal right now. It's one at a time, and I'm excited for practice Monday to try to get better so we can go into Tuesday.
What kind of adjusting will you do for the playoffs, Tim? Right now, are you feeling pretty good about line combinations? Do you want to mess with that right now? Because that's something that is, of course, the coach's prerogative.
No, I like where we're at. We're doing everything but putting the puck in the net. We're doing a little better on our breakout, our neutral ice, and getting it into the zone. And it's just making that one play. If we just hit that one stick and we can get 6 goals, because we're that close, But I like where they're at right now. I mean, I could switch stuff around again, but at this point, sometimes players like to put in some built-in excuses sometime, and well, you know, I need to play with her and this and that, but that's the way it goes. But no, I think we're in a good spot. We're just gonna get after it and keep doing what we're doing.
Is the team pretty healthy? I know Mia was sick the other night. Are you staying away from all the junk that's going around right now?
No.
No.
Well, you know, it's hard. We got girls that are sick. Somehow they get healthy by game day. You know, I'm not sure what that's all about, but everybody likes to play. But it's hard to throw a practice together when you're missing 2-3 kids and you want to do line work and there's one missing from each one, and then it's just a skill session, you know. But yeah, it's been going around, and you know, if we can get them sick for 1 or 2 days instead of some of this stuff that's lasting a week, that really sets you back. So I'm putting it all on the mothers right now to keep them healthy.
There you go. Lots of fruit and vegetables and rest.
Sleep.
Yep.
Put the phone down, go to sleep, drink some water.
There you go.
Yep.
Coach, thank you for your time. Appreciate it. Again, Otter fans, Friday night with Detroit Lakes, a makeup game against the Lakers, and then the following Tuesday, the playoff game. Couple more home opportunities there. There's only, 4 teams in the section, Tim?
That's it. There's only 4.
So you only get 1 home game in the playoffs.
Yeah. There was 5, and then Breck Wap was in there, and then they didn't have enough players at the last minute, so we ended up with 4 in our section, and it is what it is. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Tim Lill, head coach of the Otter girls hockey team. We'll take a break and come back to size up the day. There's a lot going on our Layton media stations today on a Saturday. We'll talk about it on the other side of the break as we continue our coaches show here on News Talk 1250 KBRF and streaming live through the Fergus Now app.
Portions of today's program may be pre-recorded.
I'm Derek Sidian with KBRFradio.com News. Join me live every Friday on KBRFradio.com or the Fergus Now app for the weekly news recap, where I recap this week's hottest local news and you catch up on what you might have missed. The live stream starts at 12:30 and will be available to watch after the stream ends. The KBRFradio.com weekly news recap is brought to you by Fergus Falls Monument, online at foreverstonememorial.com, memorials that matter.
Serving those who served takes passion and commitment. Start a career with a mission and receive a sign-on bonus plus state benefits through the Minnesota Department of Veterans Affairs at the Fergus Falls Veterans Home. You'll become a hero to our heroes with a rewarding career in nursing. Now hiring for healthcare positions and CNAs today. Learn more or apply at minnesota-veteran.org. Fergus Falls Jobs.
Welcome back to the Coaches Show. We're here Saturday mornings through the winter sports season. Actually, March 8th is our last show this year, so we've got, 6 weeks left. It's only 61 days till opening day of the baseball season, so I'm pumped about that too. But we're in the exciting time of the winter sports season here. You get to the end of January and you start the playoffs like Tim Lill's Otter hockey team is going to do next week, a week from Tuesday. And then you start getting kind of re-energized and reinvigorated and all that. So looking forward to that. Josh Steer was not with us today because Josh is with his Otter girls basketball team. They're on the road to Bemidji. Nick Keel is on the road to Bemidji. Also, Nick is going to cover the game for us here on News Talk 1250 KBRF. And that's a 1:30 tip-off in Bemidji. So Nick will be on around 1:15. On News Talk 1250 with that Otter girls basketball game. The Otter girls lost to Perham last Monday in a 62-51 game. That was a makeup game from an earlier postponement, but then they bounced back with a solid 67-23 win over Detroit Lakes. Defensively, they held DL to 19% shooting that night and forced 25 turnovers. So the Otters are 12-4 going into that game at Bemidji today. We also have Otter boys basketball coming up on Channel 977 this afternoon. That is a 2 o'clock start at West Fargo. The Otters and the Packers going at it there, and Matt Johnson's guys are 11-3 heading into that one. And Brad Anderson will have the call on 977 FM at AM 1020. And then Brad's going to head across the river there and go to Concordia, where the Underwood girls play Park Christian School at 5:30 this afternoon. That game can be found on KJ Country 96.5 with Brad Anderson at 5:30 from Concordia. So 3 basketball games on the radio today, and we look forward to listening. I'll be tuning into all those today. So enjoy the day. Have a great weekend. Thanks for joining us on News Talk 1250 KBRF and through our Fergus Now app.